Hello, and welcome to Reality TV News Update, where you'll find the most recent news, entertaining moments, and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. The second season of Beast Games has been a very exciting ride filled with numerous turns, strategies, and difficult choices. However, a Beast Games and Survivor crossover episode has been one of my favorites of the season thus far. Fans of Survivor are also aware that Mr. Additionally Beast, also known as Jimmy Donaldson, will appear on Survivor 50. I realized as a result of this unexpected crossover that I would like to see more reality television shows attempt epic crossover episodes or seasons. I want to see my favorite summer obsession, Big Brother, have a crossover with the underrated Claim to Fame. How it works. Claim to Fame. In summer 2022, ABC premiered Claim to Fame. Only 3 seasons have aired as of February 2026, but ABC has not officially canceled the show. It might return. On the show, celebrities' relatives compete for a grand prize while living together in a house. The game's goal is to figure out who the other contestants are. In order to identify the celebrity relatives of other contestants, these contestants must attempt to decipher clues. Each week, an elimination occurs until the finalists remain. In addition, they engage in competitions in an effort to win advantages, such as hints regarding the identity of a relative. A person must try to guess the celebrity relative of another person during the eliminations. That person is eliminated if they are right in their guess. They are eliminated if they make an incorrect guess. Many contestants on Claim to Fame are strategic thinkers who would thrive on Big Brother. This section contains spoilers for Claim to Fame. Proceed with caution. Claim to Fame may sound silly. However, it's actually a pretty strategic game. On strategy shows like Big Brother, we see alliances, showmanship, strategizing, manipulating, and other activities. Don't be fooled by the fact that Claim to Fame has viral moments that obscure how seriously these players take the game. Those gamers who are always playing games frequently rise to prominence. The first season was dominated by Logan Crosby and L'Oreal Chanel Palmer, also known as LC. They made it to the end thanks to their alliance. I was immediately impressed by how working together made them interesting to watch individually and as a duo. Gabriel Ezra Cannon started Claim to Fame Season 2 as someone whom people underestimated because they doubted his intelligence. However, he became the most intelligent contestant in his season. On Big Brother, players like Logan, LC, and Gabriel would thrive. They disappear right away and let their personalities and intellect take them far. Numerous players who would make an impact on the popular CBS show appear in the first 3 seasons of Claim to Fame. I'd like to see a similar theme on the CBS show, even if the Claim to Fame contestants don't appear on Big Brother. The concept of a Big Brother season entirely made up of relatives of former house guests excites me. Numerous relative pairings have participated in Big Brother. We have also seen Nepo baby-like situations where a relative of a former house guest appears on a different season. Family ties are not uncommon in the Big Brother world. As a result, I believe a full season featuring former house guests, spouses, siblings, parents, and cousins could be entertaining, similar to Claim to Fame, but set in the Big Brother world. If that is the twist, I think it could be more funny. The fact that everyone is related to former house guests is not made public. That would be up to them to figure out on their own. Similar to Claim to Fame, this CBS reality show could have a lot of memorable moments. Imagine a fight between someone from Nicole Franzel's family and another member of Rachel Riley's family. I need this fictitious season right now. Big Brother has thrived for more than 2 decades on a simple but brilliant strategy. Lock a group of strangers in a house, cut their connection to the outside world, and let social manipulation, paranoia, and strategy take care of the rest. The show has evolved. New twists, secret powers, returning legends, split houses, and even AI-inspired mechanics. Yet at its core, it remains a social chess match. And that's exactly why it's time for Big Brother to take a bold step forward. It needs a crossover. Not with Survivor, not with The Challenge, not even with Love Island. The Traitors is the reality show Big Brother ought to join. It seems obvious at first. Both shows focus on deception. However, the pairing becomes even more perfect with time. In point of fact, this crossover would not only be entertaining, but also have the potential to address some of Big Brother's most pressing issues in recent years. Why Big Brother needs a shakeup. Longtime fans have noticed a pattern. Big Brother's current seasons frequently begin wildly, but gradually settle into predictable patterns. In Week 1, significant alliances emerge and steamroll the house. By the jury phase, the outcome appears to be certain. Even when blindsides occur, they typically do so within the framework of the dominant alliance. The issue isn't casting, it isn't competitions, it's information. In Big Brother, players eventually learn everything. With 24/7 live feeds and constant interaction, secrets rarely survive more than a few days. Once the house figures out who's aligned with whom, the social hierarchy locks into place. That's where the Traitors enter the picture. What makes the Traitors different? The Traitors relies on a single potent system, hidden roles. A small group of players are secretly chosen as traitors, and the rest are faithfuls. The faithfuls must identify and banish the traitors before being eliminated one by one. The twist is psychological warfare. You're not just voting strategically, you're voting based on suspicion, body language, and trust. No competitions determine survival, does social perception. Players aren't trying to win power. They're trying to avoid being suspected of murder. Everything changes as a result. Imagine this inside the Big Brother house. Picture opening night of Big Brother. 16 guests arrive at the house. The nominations, HO room, and competitions all appear normal, but secretly, production selects 3 traitors. They meet in the HO room after lights out. Every week, they murder a player who disappears the next morning without explanation. The house wakes up confused. No expulsion, no vote. Someone has simply vanished. Suddenly, the entire structure of Big Brother breaks. Alliances become dangerous. Winning HO becomes suspicious. Throwing competitions becomes suspicious. Even remaining silent becomes suspect. The game transforms from social strategy into social survival. Why this addresses the alliances issue? The biggest flaw modern Big Brother struggles with is early loyalty. Because there's safety in numbers, players stick to their day-one alliances. But if there are swindlers, large alliances become liabilities. The house will consider when a large group forms, the traitors must be hiding in there. Players would break up into smaller, shifting alliances as opposed to the 8-person teams that dominated the season. The trust would always be restored. Every week would feel like Week 1 again. And that's exactly what fans desire. Evictions would finally matter again. In many recent seasons, eviction episodes have felt predictable. The target is known for many days. Votes do not change by speeches. Campaigning rarely bears fruit. But introduce secret traitors, and suddenly every eviction becomes a mystery episode. House guests would vote out those they feared as well as those they detested. Imagine a well-liked player being kicked out for being too calm. Imagine a competition beast being kicked out because they got through a night of murder. Imagine someone being saved because the house is convinced they're too obvious to be a traitor. Every vote becomes psychological storytelling instead of numerical majority. The HO would become a curse. Right now, head of household is power. In a traitor's HO crossover, HO might actually be dangerous. The house will know if the traitors do not kill the HO. If they're never targeted, they must be one of them. Players might start throwing HO competitions just to stay under the radar, something Big Brother has struggled to encourage organically for years. Jury phases would be unpredictable.
The jury portion of Big Brother often becomes a victory march for the strongest strategist, but with traitors involved, the endgame would become a detective story. Imagine Final Five. 2 traitors remained hidden. No one knows. Every conversation becomes a questioning exercise. Jury management shifts from "did I betray you" to "did I stealthily get rid of you at night?" The conclusion would not just select a winner, it would reveal identities, and viewers would finally get the shocking ending they crave, players realizing they lived with the enemy the entire season. Casting would shine. One of the best parts of the traitors is how different personalities react to paranoia. Some players spiral, some think too much, some confidently accuse everyone and accidentally become targets. Big Brother casting thrives on personality, but the game structure sometimes...
Big Brother needs to collaborate with one reality show. For a show that prides itself on constantly reinventing itself, Big Brother has surprisingly remained unchanged for a very long time. The pictures came out better, the house got more flashy, twists became more frequent. However, fans believe that the actual game, or the social ecosystem within the walls, has not changed as much as they think. Every summer, viewers look forward to power shifts, blind spots, and chaos. And almost every summer, the same thing quietly happens. A significant alliance emerges early on. They pick off outsiders, and by mid-season, everyone knows who's winning. It is not due to the players' boredom. This is because the game's structure naturally rewards safety. When 16 strangers enter the house, the smartest immediate actions are to find numbers, stay together, and not stand out. Modern seasons therefore frequently begin with excitement for the first 2 weeks before gradually becoming predictable. Therefore, if Big Brother wishes to once more feel dangerous, it does not require additional complicated powers, secret basements, or random advantages. It requires suspicion. Additionally, The Mollusk is the only reality show that focuses more on paranoia than any other. Yes, Big Brother should cross over with The Mole. Why The Mole fits just right. For those who are not familiar with the game, The Mole is based on a brilliant twist. One player is secretly sabotaging the group. In order to build a prize fund, the contestants work together on missions, but one of them deliberately causes missions to fail. The contestants must correctly identify the mole prior to the finale, and the player who does so lasts the longest. Skills for survival are irrelevant. It is not a matter of strength. It involves observation. Every conversation is important. Every decision matters. Every hesitation is significant. In addition, that mechanic would fundamentally alter Big Brother right away. The issue that Big Brother is currently dealing with is certainty, not casting or competitions. When you live in the Big Brother house, all of your information is eventually complete. Players constantly communicate, there is a leak, alliances emerge naturally. Once everyone understands the hierarchy, the game becomes a numbers exercise rather than a psychological one. Players stop asking, "Who can I trust?" They begin asking, "Who is on the bottom of the alliance list?" That change relieves tension. The show becomes strategy math instead of social suspense. That is immediately fixed by a hidden mole. How the modification would work. Consider the opening night. 16 guests, as usual, move in. Everything feels normal, including introductions, excitement, and nerves. However, production secretly casts one actor as the mole. No one knows. None, not even the HOH. The mole's mission isn't to win competitions. Their job is to subtly manipulate the house, mislead alliances, create paranoia, sabotage plans, and quietly redirect targets. And the key twist is as follows. The mole will not be expelled, but only if nobody notices them. If the entire house votes in favor of the mole in a special vote, they are immediately eliminated. Suddenly, the game is no longer just about voting people out. It is necessary to determine who is manipulating everyone. Alliances would become unstable. Alliances currently are safe havens. Players feel more secure when they gather a large group. But if a mole exists, large alliances become terrifying. It would be similar to being quizzed at each meeting. A straightforward remark such as, "Maybe we should target them next week," may suddenly be interpreted as manipulation. Motives would be frequently questioned. Why did someone suggest that target? Why did they vote differently? Why did they start that competition? Instead of being loyal, the House would operate on suspicion, and suspicion creates drama. Lastly, competitions would have an impact on society. Big Brother competitions determine power, but they rarely affect trust. When you win HOH, your power does not make you mysterious. With a mole twist, competitions would gain psychological meaning. Is someone weak when they perform poorly, or sabotaging? When they win everything, are people strong or trying to look innocent? Even participating in a challenge becomes risky because the House may believe that you are deliberately failing missions. Every action becomes evidence. Campaigning would be like playing a real game. One of the most common complaints from longtime viewers is that campaigning no longer works. Once a target is decided, the vote rarely flips. But during a season similar to Mole, campaigning becomes investigation. The House guests would not simply say, "Keep me." They would argue, "They're the mole." Imagine speeches about eviction becoming accusations. Imagine House meetings that feel like courtroom trials. Imagine that someone noticed a strange conversation from week 2 and suddenly broke alliances. Now the social game is not about popularity. Perception is everything. Why this is superior to additional twists. Adding powers like secret vetoes, invisible HOHs, or temporary immunity is a frequent attempt by Big Brother to eliminate predictability. These twists create short-term excitement but rarely change behavior long-term. A mole twist changes behavior every hour. The gamers would think about everything before speaking, avoid blatant attempts to seize power, constantly examine responses, form smaller, flexible alliances. Instead of being mechanical, the game becomes psychological. The viewing experience changes too. The viewers are the real magicians. Instead of only watching strategy, audiences become detectives. Every episode becomes interactive. Fans would analyze body language, re-watch conversations, and debate theories online. Who did lie? Who did fall? Who knew too much? It makes the season into a mystery series instead of a competition show, and the finale reveal would be electric. Think back to the final episode when the House guests sat together, certain they had solved the puzzle, but they were wrong. The mole stands up. Shock. In weeks of hidden manipulation have been made public. In years past, Big Brother has not had that much time. Casting would once again shine. This twist would also highlight different player types. Physical rivals and large alliances currently have the upper hand. But in a mole season, observant players become powerful, people who are quiet become hostile, people who overplan become suspicious, social charm becomes a weapon. The player with the most insight might win out in the end, and the player with the most power or the loudest voice wouldn't win. It brings back what the show used to be. The first Big Brother seasons were successful because no one fully knew the game at the time. The players had no idea who to trust. Relationships seemed dangerous. Every conversation mattered. Over time, predictable patterns and strategy guides made the House safer. A crossover with the mole restores the original spirit of the show. Uncertainty. Players would not just be worried about eviction night. Every conversation would make them nervous. Why this is the perfect evolution. Big Brother doesn't need to become a different show. It just needs to rediscover its core. Human behavior under pressure. A hidden saboteur forces people to reveal who they really are. There is panic. Some make claims. Some are manipulative. Some wait and quietly watch. That's the social experiment the series was always meant to be. So, bear with me. More power is not the great twist that follows. Doubt exists. When the House has a covert enemy, every whisper suddenly has more weight. Once again, every vote matters. Every alliance becomes fragile again. And for the first time in a long time, viewers stopped watching just Big Brother.